is December 44, 2020. I'm just kidding. It's January 12th, 2021. But let's go ahead and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Looks like my computer's running a little bit slow today, so if you guys aren't hearing me very well, just let me know.
You're fine.
All right, so looks like I don't see Dan here today. Would somebody be willing to volunteer to give the invocation for us?
I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Dear Lord, come in amongst us today. Give us wisdom. Give us insight into the world about us. Give us the strength to do those things that we can to help our community become better. Do this we ask Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. All right, so guests today. I see Linda, our former Lieutenant Governor. Hi, Linda.
Hello.
Good to see you today.
Yep.
Let's see, I'm scrolling through the list. Who else do we have here? I still don't see our speaker. So our speaker today is going to be Melissa Williams, the director of Every Child here in Central Oregon. So we're just still waiting for her to come online, but let's keep going in the meantime. So I don't have any birthdays to announce this week, but we do have Coffee Clatter coming up. Not this Friday, but next Friday. I talked to them a little bit already. We've kind of started the conversation of what that looks like. So for those of you that want to attend, we can have up to 5 panelists that are on a Zoom call. So for panelists, it's just like a Zoom call. And then that Zoom call is broadcast through Facebook. So everybody else is welcome to join. Go to the Chamber or the Chamber Facebook page, and they will be broadcasting. You can ask questions there. If you're a Kiwanian, you can help answer questions. Hang on just a sec. All right. So yeah, that's kind of what to expect there. I'm going to be tapping a couple people to hopefully join me as a panelist to help answer questions and to help present. We're going to try to keep it fairly short, but I'll be following up with those people here shortly. So stay tuned for that. Any other announcements today? Earl, I see your hand.
They both done around the same thing. That is the food drive. It will terminate. We'll pick up things on the 29th and 30th. And if you have things you'd like to bring down, we'll be at the park down in front of the Chamber building from 10 to 11 on that Friday and Saturday. And if you're looking to buy something to put in, be aware that Logan's, you can do it anywhere, but at Logan's, they've got a food can drive sale going on right now. You can get a lot of canned foods for a reduced price. So I hope that we get a lot of people participating. So if you have any questions, give me a call. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I've got an announcement.
All right, Dave.
Okay, we now have a Happy Dollars link on our contact page on the website. All you have to do is to donate for your Happy Dollars, just click on the donate button there, and you can go ahead and do that rather than bothering John Duff to contact you.
All right, thank you. Okay, any other announcements? I don't see any hands. All right, so just one final. we've got our board meeting coming up next Tuesday, the 19th. So everyone's welcome to join. If you're not already a part of that invite and you want to attend, please let Dave know and he can send you an invite for that meeting. All right, so happy dollars. Who wants to start us off today?
I'll start.
Okay, I think I saw Earl Fisher first.
I'll put $2 in. My wife went to the doctor this past week, and it looks like she'd be around for another year. So that was a good thing, at least for me. And the other one is for my kids. One lives in California, one lives in Arizona, and given all the stuff going on down there with the COVID, they are all fine. So I'm really happy about that.
I'll put $5 happy dollars in for a friend of mine who is pulling out of recovery from COVID at St. Charles right now. It was touch and go there, and he's pulling through. So that's a good one. And then I'll give $2 happy dollars because it's sunny, and I am so excited the sun came out today.
All right, who's next?
I'll go next.
Let's see, I saw Cindy's hand.
I'll put in $3 happy dollars because I am very happy that the wind isn't blowing today and the sun is shining. So that, I guess that's $2 worth there. And then the last dollar is because I am finally getting a project done that has been hovering over my head for way too long. I'm going to feel so free when it's done.
That's always a good feeling. Mike, yes, you're on mute.
Okay. I've got $5 happy dollars. Got to go skiing with the kids and grandkids last weekend. Fantastic day, but so did everybody else think it was a fantastic day. I've never seen so many skiers at Hoodoo. And since I missed last week, my mileage for 2020 ended up being 6,758 miles, which if you think about it, it's equivalent to riding over 18 miles a day for all 366 days of the year last year.
Better you than me, Mike.
It's also across the United States and back twice.
All right, who wants to go next? Hannah, I see your hand.
Oh, thank you. I just wanted to send greetings from Truman. He's not here. He's at a dental appointment right now, getting a crown. And then I'm happy. I'll talk about money. I had a really tough job being a medical assistant in a small clinic for 26 and a half years. And I've waited to start tapping into my pension from that. And I just started it this year. So our budget is going to be eased up. So for this, I'll put in a percentage, $10.
Alan, I saw your hand.
Thank you, Rachel. I want to put in $5 because it meant a lot to me. My son, Alex and Rachel drove from Vida to Black Butte Ranch. Bev and I drove up to Black Butte Ranch and we walked around the meadow and had pizza, and it was great. We distanced, but yet we got to be together.
Nick, I see you.
Alan, you have to be careful what kind of pizza you pick up in the meadow. I have $3 happy dollars. One, congratulations to Mike Patrick for his circumnavigating the world. One for Dave Kimmel, which is nice to see him back. And one just now because it's a beautiful sunny day and I'm upright.
All right. Anybody else? Oh, Dave, I see your hand.
Hey, I'll do $5 for the fact that our daughters both teach, and even though they have to go back to teaching, they'll be able to hopefully get the vaccine soon. And the other one is to see I'm happy to see Dr. Dick. Hey, Dr. Dick.
All right. So anybody else today, you'll have to forgive me. I'm having to scroll. I've got 3 screens here of people, so I got to scroll back and forth. So if I'm not seeing you, keep waving. John Bruce.
Thank you. I have 5 happy dollars. The first one, I got a new iPhone, but the really good thing is that I'm adapting to it very easily, or it's adapting to me. I don't know which it is. The second thing is that my brother has Parkinson's disease, but the good thing is it's the slow acting kind. And so that's kind of a positive thing. Also, I get to go out to the Redmond Learning Center and do a little carpentry. And whenever I get to do that, it brings a big smile to my face. Also, a man by the name of Harry Hull, he's 94 years old now. He was a man that got me through college to some degree. I was the one that was able to get a master's degree because of him. And he introduced me to the National Park Service. I get into my first job there. It was just great to talk to him. He's getting old. And then finally, I'm so glad that the sun is shining. I have a concern because, of the global climate change. We should not be this warm this time of year, but I'm going to enjoy my walk this afternoon.
Rachel?
Yes.
A couple happy dollars. Like a couple of guys mentioned last week, I also survived a colonoscopy on Monday this week. So that's good. And my other happy dollar is my daughter-in-law in Portland. She's a nurse and she got her first vaccination for COVID.
All right. Anybody else?
Rachel?
Yes, sir.
I'll put 2 more happy dollars in.
Okay.
One is because I have received my first COVID shot because I'm a part of the essential workers since I volunteer at the hospital to work in the gift shop. So, and the second happy dollar is I'm glad to see Dr. Dick here.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move along. I did oh, John Duff.
$2. Oh, Don Lee. There we are. First of all, I think I told you last week my brother fell on New Year's Day and broke his back. He broke 4 vertebrae. I'm happy to report he's doing much better. Still pretty sore, pretty tight, but he's able to move at a faster than snail pace now around the kitchen with a walker. So it's good news, and there's no paralysis. So that's really good news. The other dollar, and I'm always happy to see Dr. Dick as well. So.
Okay. I have emailed our presenter really quick. I don't know if she's having challenges getting on or if maybe it's not able to make the call after all, but I emailed her real quick to let her know that we're waiting to see her join, and if she's having issues, email me back and we'll do what we can to support her from this side, but haven't got any response back yet. So let's just move along real quick to our joke of the day. What is the easiest way to get straight A's? What is the easiest way to get straight A's?
Don't bend them.
Cheat.
Use a straight edge.
All right, Carl, you got it. Let's use a ruler.
Ah! That's great.
Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and just visit amongst ourselves for a few minutes while we wait for Melissa to join the call. Unless anybody has something else that they want to talk about or maybe even present really quick to the group, we'd be happy to hear it.
Well, I'm fascinated by the green screens of members. I would solicit Dave Shirley to maybe send us a tutorial on how we might create our own.
Need a green screen.
All right, so I just got a response from Melissa. She's signing in now. There was a miscommunication. She thought it was 12:30, so she's hopping on the call right now. We should see her come in here shortly.
How are you,
Hi,
Melissa?
I am so sorry, you guys. I had 12:30 down and I was deep in this like website issue and I totally lost track of time. And then I got your email and I went, oh no. So I apologize. I'm here.
Well, welcome. We are all ready for you. So I've already told the group that you're presenting for Every Child Central Oregon and that you've got a presentation for us today. So the floor is yours.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for having me. I was here last year at Redmond Kiwanis. I don't know who all was at that one as well, but I'm going to give a quick overview of Every Child. We'll kind of talk about what we've been doing, what we have going on, and then also kind of some of our response initiatives in regards to COVID-19. As we've all changed and pivoted with that. So Every Child was birthed out of a movement of a foster mom who went into a DHS office and said, show me what it looks like when a child comes into foster care. What she learned is there were holes and there were gaps and there were areas where the community could step in. That's how we started. Now we are in almost all counties across the state of Oregon. DHS, it was so successful in the Portland metro area that they came to the leadership of Every Child and said, put one of these in every county by 2022. So we have been working on doing that steadily since 2012. Every Child Central Oregon launched in 2019. I went from a steering committee member to the executive director in late 2019, and we've been up and running ever since. So what we do is we mobilize the community around those impacted by foster care. And we do that really in 4 ways. So one of which is tangible goods, and I'm going to kind of hammer on that in a little bit, but that's one of our opportunities for people to serve. We also have volunteer opportunities for people. And then we recruit foster families. That's our big heart and our mission. So we're called Every Child because our hope is that in the state of Oregon, instead of there being a wait list of kids and not enough foster homes, that we have a wait list of foster homes and that we can place kids in the right appropriate home instead of just a place sometimes for a night or a weekend. And we have a lot of shuffling still with kids in care. So that's our heart and our mission, and everything that we do is around recruiting more foster families and engaging community. We also run a really great social media. If you follow us on Every Child Central Oregon on Facebook or Instagram now, we're telling narratives and stories around the foster care space to remind people that it's not all scary and it's not all bad, and that there are success stories and there are wonderful things happening every day where people are showing up and making a difference. And our goal is to not sugarcoat it. We understand it's rough and there are things. We don't have complete rose-colored glasses when it comes to DHS and the agency, but we also understand that they're great people doing really hard work. And we as a community aren't going to get better if we're not supporting them, as just like we are anybody else. So we do some great like counter narrative around our DHS staff and our friends there, and letting people know that they're running into really hard situations like a policeman is and a fireman, but they often don't get that same kind of fanfare that those guys get. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. And so in response to COVID, does anyone have any questions? Is that okay? Can I do questions right now? No? Okay. Few things we've done this year. So a couple exciting numbers as I'm putting together like my annual report. We've recruited 11 new foster homes in Central Oregon, which is huge for a brand new organization and us just getting here. We are thrilled with that number. It's still not enough. We are still in a crisis in the state of Oregon and in Deschutes County and in Crook County and in Jefferson County needing more homes. Right now, I just got an email yesterday. There were 10 kids in Central Oregon needing placement, meaning we don't have homes right now that have stepped up for 10 kids. So I think that as Kiwanis and as business leaders in Redmond, I think that's an important thing for you guys to know. I think if you take anything away from today, knowing that that's happening in your community matters, and that we don't have enough homes right now for children. In response to COVID, we have created what we're calling an initiative. It's called My Neighbor. And My Neighbor was kind of birthed on a weekend in March when all of us were scrambling and wondering, what do we do and how do we service our families and youth who've aged out of the foster care system, and how do we do that well in a really hard season? And so we created an online platform and system that allows for foster youth who've aged out of the foster care system, for foster families, for families of origin that are in process of getting their children back, to submit a need to us. And then we put it on our website and we have the community match and meet those needs. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to share screen. I might try, but I can show you guys our need form. I can tell you right now we have current needs. We are updating those daily. I have it pulled up. Here we go. Let me see if I can share my screen and I'll show you guys our need form and what needs are out there right now. But this is another great opportunity for Kiwanis and other groups to just look, and if you want to do something or give back, pop on here and just see if there's a need that maybe you have that item. And it doesn't even have to be brand new items. We had a great situation in COVID. It was a hard situation. We had a kid with really high behavioral needs, and without school, he was just struggling. And so his foster provider asked for a boxing bag, just something where he can go out and get out some frustration. And we threw it up on our My Neighbor request, and someone had one in their garage and it was just sitting there and it wasn't being used. So they donated it and we were able to get it to that provider and allow this child just an outlet and a place to, burn off some energy. And it did help retain that placement. Whereas without that item, although it's just a tangible item, that foster provider was kind of on the brink. And so it allowed for a change to happen just through a very tangible item. So right now we have clothes. We have an anchor site in Redmond where items can be dropped off. Educational materials. We see requests for car seats and bunk beds. Let me see if I can share my screen. Oh, very good.
Melissa, where is your site in Redmond that we can drop things off at?
It is at Mountain View Church. So we don't just accept, or Mountain View Fellowship, I believe is their actual formal name. So you can't just drop anything off there. You'll have to go to our website and sign up for a specific need. And then you'll get an email from Brianna Rogers, who works for our Every Child team and manages our tangible need arm. And she'll give you the drop hours, because it's not just any time. There's set times. They have volunteers there. So that is our partner here in Redmond. And then we get it from them to the caseworker or to the next person, the foster family or wherever it's going. All right, let me share this. I apologize. I think it's gonna let me. Here we go. So this is our My Neighbor form. So let me go back. So if you go to our website, everychildcentraloregon.org, can you all see my screen? Very good. You click up here on what says My Neighbor. That brings you to this landing page. And right here it says current needs in Central Oregon. You can click there, you can give, and then you can also just sign up and just say, hey, I want to be on the list. So whenever you guys have new needs, you're going to be notified. And then you can even list in here something that like you're able to provide. So if you say, hey, this is something I have a lot of, baby equipment, diapers, or I'm really willing to give this certain type of item, you can mark that. And then when you click right here, it brings you to our landing page, which is updated daily. And you can see we have clothing. So this one is a youth who's experienced homelessness and is now in care, but is needing clothes that fit. And these ones that say Bend Nazarene Church, if you guys ever just needed to drop them off in Redmond, we could arrange for that. So ultimately the item may be going to Bend, but we're always flexible on our anchor sites. We just have to put one in when we put in the need. So books, supplies, etc. Can I answer more questions for you guys? Sorry, I feel a little rushed. I apologize. I kind of got in on a little bit of a crazy afternoon and I flew through that. So I can stop, slow down, go back and clarify anything that I've said.
I have a question.
Of course.
I think Ridgeview is helping you with care baskets for kids that are going out of foster care. Could you say something about that or that program again?
Yeah, of course. So we have 3 different types of boxes. They are kind of our easiest on-ramp for people to get involved. We have a welcome box for kids when they enter foster care, a flash box for foster families, and then what we call a launch box, which is the one that Ridgeview has been partnering with us for kids aging out of the foster care system. And those are all on our website under tangible. You can click, there's a hyperlink to the one-pagers on all of those boxes. And I'm happy I can pull those up on the screen or we can send them out in an email, whichever's easiest for you guys. But yeah, it's a great way for people to get involved. We're having a lot of success with our flash boxes, which are about $100 to $125 a box. They're a big tote. And we call them a flash box because we gather like quite a bit of them. And then we do a flash mob of like a neighborhood, like all of Redmond or part of Bend or Crook County or Jefferson County. And we drop them on all the foster providers in that area's front porch on a given day. And it's a great opportunity for them just to really see and feel community and know that their community supports them and they see them and they're full of like candy and movies and games and a handwritten note that just says, hey, we see you in the community and we believe in the work you're doing.
How has the pandemic influenced the need for foster families?
The pandemic has increased the need for foster families in a couple of different fronts. One, whenever there's crises, as you guys probably know and see, you have more families on the tipping point and unable to care for kids. Whenever there's more stress in a home due to economic factors, you're going to see a rise in abuse and addiction. So that has caused, yes, a rise in cases. And then you couple that with children not being able to go to school at this time. And a lot of foster families, I kind of say it as they like juggle a lot of balls and there's all these balls in the air and that's how they're able to do it. And when that school ball drops, they're not able to take as many kids as maybe they could or they would like to or they had in the past because of the comprehensive distance learning element. It's just a lot more on a placement to also add that piece in. So we are seeing, like I said, we have children right now that don't have homes and some of them, you know, have intellectual delays or ADHD or minor behavioral issues even, and they're just it's hard. You know, that's a hard thing. I see the best of parents struggling with comprehensive distance learning. And I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying it can be a struggle.
Melissa,
Yes.
what are you said we have about 10 or 11 kids need homes in our area. What are the ages of some of these kids?
Right now, their ages 3 to 17.
Is there a predominance of older or younger, or 3 to 5, or?
There's generally school age kids are where the majority of children are in care. Like that's kind of our bubble where there's like the majority, if you're looking at kind of like a bell kind of curve. But we're always seeing older kids needing placements. We always have a line of people willing to take babies and toddlers and younger children. But teens, we run into issues constantly with teens is a really big deal. We've actually been looking into doing just some more like specialty marketing and conversations around fostering teenagers. And it's not as scary as everybody makes it out to be. And then sibling groups is another one. So for example, the 3-year-old that if we're looking at who needs homes right now, we have 3-year-olds, but they come with 2 other siblings. So when we're talking about sibling groups of 3, those are really hard to place. Sibling groups of 3, sibling groups of 4, 5. We don't have a foster home right now that could take a group of 4, for example. Does that answer your question? Yeah, of course.
As you search for homes for these kids, what's the single biggest reason people say, I can't do that?
I think it's I don't know. I mean, I think that's a hard question because I think everyone's in different places. I think people think it's too much or it's too hard or it's too scary. I think there's an element of even like fear around fostering. I think that I don't know if there's like everybody watched the same Lifetime movie that kind of put this like scariness on it. I think also, I mean, to be fair, I think people are really busy. I think that by nature, we're busy and our lives are busy. And I think there's a lot of great people who say, you know what, if I didn't have all this other stuff going on, I would love to do that. We were encouraged to see at the start of the pandemic when everyone's life slowed way down and everything kind of got canceled. We did have an increase in inquiries and people saying, hey, maybe I could do this. And life looks a little bit different right now. So we did have an increase in inquiries because life slowed down, but I do think just the way we run our lives and how busy we are is a great factor in why people don't do it. And we offer, so once a month, we actually have one this Thursday, every second or third Thursday, depending on the schedule. We do an event called Explore Fostering. It's on Zoom right now, like everything else. And we have a panel of experienced foster parents from Central Oregon. And we just invite the community to come in and listen and learn. And DHS is there, we're there. We do like a set of questions, and then we allow the community to ask questions, because I think you're right. I think there are sometimes just these like barriers, but if somebody said, hey, if I just was able to ask this question, maybe I would do it. And so we are working on that. The other thing that Every Child does is we in 2019 as a whole took over all general foster inquiries for the state of Oregon. So we now have a call center that's ran out of our Portland affiliate, and anyone interested in fostering runs through Every Child. Therefore, they're now getting what is more of like a customer experience, whereas before everybody was going straight to DHS, and not everybody got called back, and not everybody felt like they really wanted them or needed them to do it. And because DHS didn't have the bandwidth to also market and just weed through those who were really interested and those who were maybe just gathering information. And we do that, and we have the ability to do that. And so if you go to our website and you just say, hey, I'm interested in fostering, you're going to get an inquiry that says, are you ready like right now? Or are you gathering information? Or are you 5 years out? And then based on where they land in that spectrum, they go into a very specific marketing tract. And then we only send those that are ready right now after we call them and verify that they're really ready to DHS so that they can move along in the process. And we're finding it's just working, and it's working a lot better, and it's allowing our friends at DHS to do the job they need to do with those that are really truly ready.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Al, I have a question for you.
Absolutely. Hey, Josh.
Hi. Can you talk to us about some of the stats as far as number of kids you guys have helped place this year versus other years? How often do families get split, right? Where one kid maybe goes and those kind of numbers. Those are always fascinating to me anyway.
Yeah, of course. So on right now in Central Oregon, 450 kids spend at least one night in foster care. Kind of backing into that, there's about 2,000, I don't have a number right in front of me, it's around 2,000 founded child abuse calls in Tri-County. So out of those founded calls, about 450 kids spend at least one night in care. At any given point in time, so that's kind of over the span of a year, at any given moment, we have between 275 and 300 kids in care in the Tri-County area. 66% spend time in numerous homes in the state of Oregon. So not just in care, but bouncing. And, I'll be here for a week and then there for a week. And part of that deals with just our lack of homes. So what you have is foster families who say, you know what, I really don't have the bandwidth to do this for very long, but I want to keep this kid out of a hotel because that's what happens if there's no placement. Kids go to hotels with DHS staff and are there until we find placement. And so they'll take them for a weekend, knowing it's not a long-term thing and kind of waiting for the right placement. So those are some stats right now. In Central Oregon, the most recent numbers I have, so we have between 250 and 300 kids any given time, 450 spend at least one night. We have 66 general foster homes in Tri-County. So general foster homes are those homes that are open to all kids. All the other foster homes we have in Central Oregon are child specific or a relative placement. So that means they got certified because it's their grandchild or they had relationship with this child. So what that means is with these kids come into care, if a relative or there's nobody within their sphere who can be certified, which often isn't always the case, there's only 66 homes in the Tri-County area where DHS can place kids, which just, again, perpetuates the issue of not having enough foster placements. Right now in Jefferson County, we have one. We have one general foster home. We had two and they moved to Redmond, so we have one. So in Jefferson County, it's an even greater issue. So we see a lot of Jefferson County kids in Redmond because unfortunately there's no placement, no homes there. The one that's there, I think they have like 6 kids at all times. Like they're doing everything they can do to try and keep those kids in Jefferson County because school districts and friends and relationships and visits and where their parents all that matters. And so we want to have kids in their community, but I mean, even Redmond, we see Redmond kids in Bend and Redmond kids, going to other communities because we don't have enough homes still. Does that answer your question, Josh?
Yeah, it does. Thank you. That's great.
That,
I mean, it's not great. It's actually terrible, but the numbers are real. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's the real issue. And, and that's what, we're here to do at Every Child too, is just to have meetings with you guys and leaders in the community and let you know what's going on. We recently did a grant for the city of Bend, and a lot of the city officials were on that board, and they kept coming back to us and going, wait, what's going on? How many, it just isn't information that I think has been really well presented or in a way that leaders of our communities can understand it. And if you don't know about it, how can you be part of the solution?
Absolutely.
And so, that's our goal, is that you all can be part of our solution.
This is Alan. I have a question.
Alan? Of course.
Let's say I wanted to help out once a week, give a family 3 hours of time to sort of a respite, or wanted to come help with school learning or something like that. Do you support that kind of thing? And if so, what does it take for us to be certified, background checked, or whatever?
Yeah, so respite is generally, short-term care. We're talking weekends, nights, short-term babysitting, and it's just a background check. The hard part with respite, I'll tell you, is DHS doesn't have the best system for respite. It is more of kind of a matchmaking system, and I, at Every Child, have been kind of filling that hole. So when there's needs for respite, I have a list of people who'd like to provide respite, and then I make the match and we get the background check and we move on. But we have, I can tell you right now, I have a family in Madras who is looking for Redmond respite and would be open to that. They're needing, just a couple hours a week, exactly what you're saying, for a couple of kids. And that would be great. We would love to have you on our list. So if you're interested, just go to our website, Every Child Central Oregon. Let me go back to it, .org. And if you come up here, there's what we call a connect form, and you can go here, tell us about yourself. You can say you're interested in fostering, adopting, volunteering, or other. I would just put other, and I would just put respite, and we'll reach out to you, Alan, and get everything you need. Other things, so on our website, I know this isn't in the best spot. Like I said, I got distracted today just trying to get our website fixed. Up here under recent news, it says events, so you can click there. And so if you ever want to kind of see what we have going on, you can go to Deschutes County and search, and you'll see our Explore Fosterings. We also have a meeting once a month for volunteers, and it's called a Discover meeting. So you can sign up and just learn more about what we have going on, what volunteer initiatives we have, and ways you can get plugged in. We just launched this month 13 neighborhoods, which is our newest initiative. We take 4 to 5 families and we wrap them around one foster family. That neighborhood provides for 6 months, they provide 2 meals a month and 1 act of kindness. So again, just another way for people to rally around those doing the hard work and going, I don't think I can do it, but I could sure support you, and I could drop off a pizza or a lasagna, or I could mow your lawn, or whatever it may be. I could just shoot you a text and say, I heard today it might be a rough one. You got court, you got this, and we're in your corner. And that's making a difference. That's helping those who are doing it keep moving ahead. But you can learn about all that on our Discover meeting that's coming up next Tuesday. And we have those monthly, so you can see them here, Central Oregon. And when the world permits it, we'll get back to doing those in person at coffee shops and get to really meet people, but someday. And then I'll give one more shout out. We did a huge Redmond, we have a new visitation space in Redmond, and we were honored enough to work with some great Redmond businesses and partners and revitalize that space and turn it into a true family visit center. And Redmond was picked for that space because it is the hub of Central Oregon. So we have people coming from all over using that visit space, and we had a ribbon cutting, but it got canceled, and there was a news story about it, and it was just a wonderful opportunity. So we do service projects like that as well for community groups and community members to engage and just lend a part. And DHS is always reaching out to us. They call us all the time and say, hey, what about this? Hey, could you help with this? So if you're on our list, you'll learn about all the things that we need help with.
Thank you, Melissa. We really appreciate you sharing with us today. It's always great to hear how things are expanding and adapting, and I guess it's really heartwarming for me to hear the collaboration with DHS and how they're kind of deferring to you guys now. That's huge. So good job.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. And I'm sorry again, I was late. I had this on 12:30 and days.
It's okay. It worked out perfect. So if nobody has any other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap up for the day. All right. So our final thoughts today come from
John had a question.
Yes, Earl.
Melissa,
Go for it.
the question for you, Melissa, if you can hear me, is that you have a packet of the 501c3 information that we need to pass on to foundations and sectors that we work with that that would make a quick and easy decision for that board to be able to award you funding if you had a special project or so forth. Just to have a packet of that 501c3, because that documentation seems to be critical before awards can be made.
Yeah, we have our 501c3. I have, I can get you whatever you needed as far as that goes.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Are you speaking on behalf of Kiwanis, like a Kiwanis grant, or another opportunity, Dawn?
Another foundation.
Another foundation, yeah. I don't have your email, but I bet you Rachel would connect us, and we could certainly chat more about that.
I'll give you my email if that helps, Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
You do that.
Go ahead.
We'll just let's bore everybody. It's dawn@dawnleeccim.com. Charlie Indigo Michael.com.
dawn@dawnleeccim.com.
Perfect.
Got you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll reach out. I have a grant writer, so I'll probably have her reach out because she would have all of everything you need. I guarantee it. There was another question. I felt like somebody else was like reaching up their hand. No?
Oh, okay.
Just scratching our head.
Just scratching your head. I like, is it Mike Patrick? I love your background. I've never seen that one before. I think it's like, this has been like my thing of like all the different and fun Zoom backgrounds. Like the shark one, it gave me a little bit of entertainment. So thank you for mixing it up.
It's actually a video
thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. I remember you last year, and it's compelling and moving and action taking every time.
Well, thank you. We're excited to be here and doing the work. It's been a wild ride since I saw you guys last, but it's only gotten better.
Okay, I think we're ready for our thought of the day. All right. So this one comes to us from Jennifer Aniston, and she is quoted as saying, "Don't make plans, make options." All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy December 44, 2020. We'll see you next week.